Hello students, welcome to Shri Jayend Rank Zone classes. In last lecture, we covered details about noun. This lecture would be focused upon pronouns. Let us move forward and try to understand the basic concept of pronoun. So, what is pronoun? Pronouns are words that are used in place of nouns in a sentence. That is, these pronouns are used in places of noun. The noun being replaced is known as the antecedent of the pronoun. We commonly use pronouns in speech and writing to avoid sounding unnatural and repetitive by using the same noun in a sentence multiple times. For example, Rakesh said that Rakesh wants to use the computer that belongs to Rakesh. So we have used the name of Rakesh here in this sentence 3 times. This sentence is awkward because Rakesh is repeated so many times. Instead, we can use personal pronouns to stand in for the name of the antecedent to make the sentence sound more natural. As in, Rakesh said that he wants to use the computer that belongs to him. So, we have used he and him in place of Rakesh. We have just used Rakesh once in this sentence, and due to this the sentence sounds more natural and subtle. I hope you have understood the basic meaning of pronoun. Now let us move forward and understand the various categories of pronouns. First category is personal pronouns. Personal pronouns are used to represent people in a sentence. Personal pronouns experience a wide range of inflection, meaning they change form to reflect specific meaning in different contexts. So, inflection means their meaning changes in different contexts. The same personal pronoun can have different meaning in different contexts. Personal pronouns can inflect according to grammatical person, that is whether it is a first person, second person or third person. It can also inflect due to grammatical number, whether it is singular or plural. The gender will also impact the personal pronoun, and whether the case is subjective, objective or possessive. Okay, so one of the examples of personal pronoun is I am meeting my writing club this afternoon. We always meet on Wednesday after class. So I have used I, my and we in this sentence instead of using names. Okay, so what is this? This is a personal pronoun, and I is a first person singular pronoun. My is a first person singular pronoun, and we will understand ahead why we are using my and I differently in place of only the name of the person. We have used we because it is first person plural. Okay, another example can be you really must learn to help yourself. Here you is a personal pronoun which is second person and singular form. Another example can be the main reason Maya is so beautiful is because she is so tall. Here we have used she instead of Maya. She is a personal pronoun which represents Maya, and it is used because it is a third person feminine singular. Alright. This table will help us understand these pronouns better, personal pronouns better. For a first person singular form and masculine and feminine both genders, we used I in a subjective case, me in the objective case, and for a possessive case we have to use my. Okay, for first person singular, masculine or feminine gender, we used I in subjective case, me in objective case, and my in possessive case. Similarly, for first person plural, we have to use we instead of I in subjective case. Okay, because we is the plural form. Similarly, in objective case, me becomes us, and in possessive case, my becomes our. For a second person, singular and plural number remain same, and the gender, for both genders we can use you in subjective case as well as objective case, and your in possessive case. For a third person singular feminine, we have to use she in the subjective case, her in the objective case, and her is also used for a possessive case. For a third person singular masculine, he is used instead of she. Okay, so if the noun is feminine, she will be used. If the noun is masculine, he will be used. Okay, for a third person singular neutral gender, it will be used in subjective case as well as objective case. For possessive case, its will be used. For third person plural neutral gender, they, them, and their will be used based upon the case. Okay, I hope you have understood personal pronouns completely by now. Let us move on to reflexive pronouns. We use reflexive pronouns when the subject of a clause is also the object of the clause verb. This occurs with certain reflexive verbs. They are formed by adding self for singular or selves for plural to the end of my, your, our, him, her, it, or them. For example, I saw myself in the mirror. Another example can be she imagined herself on a tropical beach. Herself is a reflexive pronoun over here. They consider themselves to be above the law. Themselves is a reflexive pronoun. Another example is one should not concern oneself with the business of others. So oneself is a reflexive pronoun over here. It is singular, so we have used only we have added only self after it. Okay, so this is all about reflexive pronouns. Let us move on to intensive pronouns. Intensive pronouns are identical to reflexive pronouns in form, but instead of functioning as the object of a verb, they serve to emphasize or reiterate the subject's role in the verb section. For instance, I checked over these documents myself. So myself is an intensive pronoun which is laying emphasis on the process of checking the documents. Similarly, in another example, the president himself will be in attendance. So the himself is a intensive pronoun which is bringing the emphasis on the presence of the president. Okay, so intensive pronouns bring emphasis or reiterate the subject's role in the verbs action. Alright, let's move on to indefinite pronouns. This is the fourth category of pronouns, and indefinite pronouns in place of a noun that is not being specified in the sentence. So we use indefinite pronouns where the noun is not countable. Alright, there are many different indefinite pronouns which one we use depends on whether we are representing noun that is a person or a thing, and whether that noun is singular or plural. Some common examples include is everyone here. So everyone is an indefinite pronoun because it does not represent any countable number. Alright, I hope all is going well. All is an indefinite pronoun which is used in place of noun that is not been specified in the sentence. Okay, similarly, whatever you decide is fine with me. Whatever is an indefinite pronoun over here. Many are coming to the show tonight. Many is also an indefinite pronoun in this sentence because we do not know the number of people who would be attending today's show. So everyone, all, whatever, and many, all these four are indefinite pronouns in their respective sentences. Let us move on to demonstrative pronouns. Demonstrative pronouns are used to indicate specific people or things and indicate whether they are first singular or plural, second nearby or not near to the speaker. So demonstrative pronouns specify whether it is a singular or plural form, or whether the person is whether it is nearby to the speaker or it is away from the speaker. The most commonly used demonstrative pronouns are this, that, these, and those. For example, this isn't mine. Mine isn't. This is a singular. This is a singular pronoun, which specifies that the speaker is near. All right. Give me that. That is a demonstrative pronoun over here, and it specifies that that is a singular pronoun, and it represents that the object is away from the speaker. These are really gross. That these is used for plural forms, and is usually represents the things which are nearby to the speaker. Another example is I forgot to bring those. So those is also used for plural, but for those objects which are away from the speaker. Alright, I hope you have understood the use of this, that, these, and those. This is used for singular and nearby objects. That is used for singular but those objects which are far from the speaker. These is used for plural form and to demonstrate things which are nearby to the speaker, and those is a plural form which specify things which are away from the speaker. Okay, so demonstrative pronouns are used to indicate specific people or things. Okay, let's move on to interrogative pronouns. Interrogative pronouns are used to ask questions, functioning either as the subject or object of such sentences. Okay, it can act as both subject and object. All right, there are 5 primary interrogative pronouns: who, whom, whose, which, and what. I hope all of you have used these words multiple times and would not find it difficult to understand their meaning. For example, who is coming to the party tonight? So who is an interrogative pronoun, and it is being used as a subject in this sentence. Another example could be, so which will it be, $10,000 or a new sports car? Here which has been used as an object. Alright. Another example could be, could you tell me whose these are? Here whose has been used in the subject. Alright. Another example is, do you know what we are doing here? Here in this sentence, what is used as an object. I hope you have understood everything about interrogative pronouns and how they function as subject as well as object in a sentence. Alright. Next form of pronoun is relative pronouns. Relative pronouns are used to connect relative clauses to the main clause in a sentence. Relative clauses either help clarify the antecedent with essential information, in which case they are known as restrictive clauses, or else give extra non-essential information about it, in which case they are known as non-restrictive clauses. In a relative clause, the relative pronoun functions in one of the 3 ways: as the subject of the clause, as the object of the clause verb, or as a possessive determiner. Alright, so let us understand relative pronouns with the help of examples. There's the woman who always sits next to me on the bus. So who is the relative pronoun which is connecting the first clause to the second clause. That is, it is pointing out to the woman who sits next to the speaker in the bus. Okay, so who is a restrictive clause over here because it is talking about a specific woman and it is functioning as a subject. Alright, so in this sentence, who is the relative pronoun which is functioning as a restrictive clause and who functions as a subject. Let us try to understand it better with another example. The book that I wrote is being published in January. Here, I is the relative pronoun. It is relating the first clause about the book to the second clause about being it published. So, I is a restrictive clause because it is talking about only one particular thing, that is the book, and it functions as the object. Alright. The escaped giraffe, which had been on the loose for weeks, was finally captured. Which is the relative pronoun over here? It is a non restrictive clause and which functions as a subject in this sentence. Why is it a non restrictive clause? Because we are not talking, this sentence doesn't specify any particular giraffe. Alright. The person whose name can't be revealed appeared in court today. So, whose is representing a non restrictive clause. Okay. And it is functioning as a possessive determiner, modifying the name of the person. Okay. Now let's move on to the reciprocal pronouns. This is the last category of pronouns, and we use reciprocal pronouns when two or more people both act as the subject of a verb, and both or all individually and equally receive the verb's action. They can be the object of either the verb itself or a preposition used to complete the verb's meaning. There are two reciprocal pronouns: each other, traditionally used for two people, and one another, traditionally used for more than two people. So there are mainly two reciprocal pronouns: each other and one another. For example, Jake and I call each other every day. Here, each other is a reciprocal pronoun and it is used because the sentence is talking about only two person. Another example can be, my neighbors and I spent a lot of time at each other's houses when we were kids. So here again we are using each other, and it is because we are talking about only two people. Okay, then let's move on to the rules for using pronouns. There are various rules in grammar which help us in using pronouns grammatically correctly. Okay, so the first rule is, since a personal pronoun works in place of a noun, the number, gender and person of the pronoun must be according to the noun only. So the pronoun which will be replacing the noun must have represent the same number, gender and person of the pronoun. Alright. For example, Ram has lost his books. Please notice that we have used his and not their, because we have to match the number, gender and the person of the sentence in order to replace the name, in order to replace the noun. So the correct sentence is, Ram has lost his books. She loves his husband is an incorrect sentence. Can you guess why? Because we cannot use his with she. We have to match the gender of she and the form of personal pronoun, that is her. So we should use her over here. The correct sentence would be, she loves her husband. Let us move on to the second rule now. When two or more singular nouns are joined by "and", the pronoun for them is always in the plural number. For example, Mohan and Sohan have lost his books is an incorrect statement. Why? Because we are talking about two singular nouns, that is Mohan and Sohan, who have lost their book. So we will be using their instead of his. Why? Because of the plural form. Alright. Let us move on to the third rule. When two or more singular nouns joined by "and" are preceded by each and every, the pronoun must be singular. You might have noticed in the previous sentence when two singular nouns were joined by and but they were not preceded by anything, the plural form of pronoun was used. But if in any case the uh, singular nouns are preceded by each and every, then the pronoun must be singular. For example, every student and every teacher took his or her seat. So please notice that we have used his or her, which is a singular form. Alright. Let us take one other example. Each of Ram and Sham has done his work. Here as well you can see we have used his instead of their. Why? Because Ram and Sham is preceded by each. Another example can be each man and each boy in the party has got his share. Here as well you can see we have represented his, we have used his instead of their. Why? Because we have the nouns are preceded by each. So in this sentence only singular form must be used. So I hope you have understood all the three rules. Let us move on to the next rules. When a singular noun and a plural noun are combined by or, either, or, neither, nor, the singular noun usually comes first in the sentence and the pronoun must be in the plural number. For example, either the manager or his subordinates failed in their duty in sending the official message. So you can see we have used his first in the sentence and later we have used a plural number, that is a plural pronoun, that is there. So the exact sentence becomes either the manager or his subordinates failed in their duty in sending the official message. So I hope the rule number 4 is clear to you. When a singular noun and a plural noun are combined by or, either, or, neither, nor, the singular noun usually comes first in the sentence and the pronoun must be in the plural number. Okay. Rule number 5. When two or more singular nouns are joined by either or, neither, nor, the pronouns is always in the singular form. So, for example, Ram or Mohan should invest his money in some business. Another example can be neither Ram nor Sham confessed his guilt. So you can see we are using singular form of pronoun over here. Another example is either Sita or Kamla forgot to take her prize. Okay, so we have used her. Alright. Let us move on to rule number 6. Either or neither are always used in relation to two things or two persons for more than two any. So either and neither are used in relation to only two things or two persons. When we have more than two things or two persons, we have to use any or none. Alright. For example, either of the two girls can pay for it. So we have used either over here because we are only talking about two girls. Another example is neither of the two brothers has been selected. So we have used neither because here as well we are talking about only two persons. Any one of the employees can claim it. Here we have used any because we don't know how many more than two because more than two persons are involved over here. Another example is none of the students of this class has passed. So none is used because the number of students is more than 2. If the number of students would have been less than 2 or equal to 2, then neither or either could have been used. Alright. Rule number 6 is clear to you. Either or neither are always used in relation to two things or two persons. For more than two, any or none must be used. Alright. Rule number 7. When in a sentence one is used as the subject, all the pronouns in the sentence must be changed into one or one's and not his, her, or him. Alright? For example, one should keep one's promise. Okay? We will use one's promise, not his promise, her promise, but one's promise. Similarly, one should do one's duty, not his duty, her duty, but one's duty. Because if one is used as the subject, all the pronouns in the sentence must be changed to one or one's. Alright? Let us finish it with the last example. One must finish one's task in time. Okay, here as well, once has been used instead of any other pronoun. Rule number 8. When any pronoun functions as the complement of the verb to be, it is always in the nominative case. Alright? For example, it is me who have to go is an incorrect sentence. Why? Because instead of me, I will be used. Because I is the nominative case of me. It is I who have to go. This is the correct sentence. Let us take one more example. It is him who is to blame. This is an incorrect statement. Can you guess why? Because we have used him instead of he. We have seen in that table na, nominative case of him is he. So with it is he who is to blame. This is the correct answer. Rule number 9. Whenever any pronoun functions as an object to a verb or a preposition, it is in the objective case. For example, it is for he to consider. This is an incorrect statement. The correct statement would be it is for him to consider. Why? Because we have to use objective case. When pronoun functions as an object to a verb or a preposition, we have to use it in objective case. It is for him to consider is the correct answer. Okay, let us take one more example. Ask he to go. Do you think this is a correct statement? No, this is an incorrect statement. Why? Because here again we have used the he, which is subjective form. We need to use him, which is an objective case, because the pronoun functions as an object to verb or a preposition in the sentence. Next, when a personal pronoun is connected by a conjunction with some other word in the objective case, it must be in the objective or accusative case. For example, these clothes are for you and me. We will not use I, we will use me. Okay, because we are using objective or accusative case. We will use accusative case or objective case when two personal pronouns are connected by a conjunction. Alright. Rule number 12. A pronoun should be used in the objective case in a sentence beginning with let. Okay, if any sentence begins with let, we will be using objective case of the pronoun. For example, let him go to his office. We have used his, not he. Okay. Similarly, let her submit the records in time. We have used her, not she. Whenever the sentence begins with let, the pronoun should be used in objective case. Alright. Rule number 13. While confessing a fault or expressing a negative idea, the sequence of the personal pronouns should be as follows. I, you, and he are in the wrong and will be punished. First person first, second person next, and third person last. Okay, we will use the first person at the beginning, second person will come after the first person, and third person will be the last one. Why? Because we are using a we are confessing a fault or expressing a negative idea. Alright, so whenever we are expressing a negative idea or confessing a fault, the personal pronouns would be in the sequence of first person first, then followed by second person, and then the third person at last. I hope you have understood this rule. Let us move on to rule number 14. While expressing a positive idea or praise, the sequence of the personal pronouns should be as follows. You, he, and I will get an award for the good work we have done. So you can observe here that the sequence is second person first, followed by third person, and we will be in the first person would be the at last. Why this is done? Because it is, we have to express a positive idea or praise. Alright, so first person would come at the end. Another example can be you, he, and I have finished the work. Okay, here as well you can see you is the second person, he is the third person, and I first person. Alright, Ram, I, and you have finished our studies is an incorrect statement. Why? Because finishing study is a positive idea or a praise, so it the sequence must start from the second form, the second person, that is you, followed by the third person, that is Ram, and followed by the first person, that is I. So the correct statement would be you, Ram, and I have finished our studies. Alright, so you can see the difference over here. Whenever we are confessing a fault or a negative idea, we go from first person, second person, and then to the third person. Alright, in the same sequence. But when we are expressing a positive idea or a praise, we move from second person, third person, and the first person comes in the last. Alright, let us move on to rule number 15. After but, except, between, and let, the pronouns is used in objective case, whereas after such as in the subjective case. So whenever we use but, except, between, and let in the sentence, the pronoun used is in the objective case. Alright, for example, everyone laughed but I is an incorrect statement. Why? Because the correct statement would be everyone laughed but me. Okay, we have to use the objective form. Alright, another example is let we laugh away our sorrows. It is an incorrect statement because we have to we cannot use we. It is for subjective cases. We have to use us. The correct statement would be let us laugh away our sorrows. Another example can be this is between you and I. The correct statement would be this is between you and me. Alright, with between, except, but, and let, we will be using objective case. They do not have a lining for such a person as me. It is a incorrect statement. Why? Because the correct statement would be they do not have a liking for such a person as I. Alright, instead of me we will be using I. Rule number 16. Some is used in affirmative sentences to express quantity or degree. Any is used in negative or interrogative sentences. For example, I shall buy some apples. I shall not buy any apples. So some represents a degree of affirmity, while any represents negativity and interrogative nature. Alright, so I shall buy some apples is very different from I shall not buy any apples. Another example can be, have you bought any apples? We have used any here again because we don't know about them. I shall read any book. This is an incorrect statement because any cannot be used with the book. It is a affirmative sentence to express quantity and degree. Therefore, some will be used. I shall read some book. Rule number 17. Enjoy, apply, resign, quit, drive, exert, avail, pride, absent, drink, oversleep, overreach, revenge, present, etc. When used as transitive verbs, always take a reflexive pronoun after them. For example, he absented from the class is an incorrect statement. He absented himself from the class is a corrected statement. He presented himself before the manager. He absented himself from the office today. These are some of the examples. Alright. Let's move on to the next rule. Rule number 18. When a pronoun stands for a collective noun, it must be in the singular number and in the neutral gender if the collective noun is viewed as a whole. So if we are taking a collective noun as a whole, then a singular number or and in the neutral gender must be used. For example, the jury gave its verdict. Here, its is used for neutral gender. All right. The jury were divided in their opinions. Here we have used their. Okay. Rule number 19. Each other is used about two persons. Two brothers disliked each other. Romeo and Juliet loved each other. So each other is used about two persons only. The two children quarreled with each other is one of the examples. Alright. One another is used about more than two. So each other is used for two persons and one another is used for more than two persons. So for example, good boys do not require quarrel with one another. All the students of the class are friendly. They like one another. So here we have used one another because there are more than two students. And in the first sentence we have used two. In the first sentence we have used each other because we are talking about two brothers. Rule number 20. The pronouns who, whom, whose are generally used for persons or living things, and who nominative case, whom objective case, whose is used in possessive case. Alright. So who is used in nominative case, whom is used in objective case, and whose is used in possessive case. For example, Shikha is the student who got an award. So nominative case has been used over here. They are the thieves whom the police caught. So whom is the pronoun used here because it is serving as the objective of the case. This is the student whose certificates are lost. Whose is represent the possessive nature of the certificates. So the pronouns who, whom, whose are generally used for persons. Alright. Who used in nominative case, whom in objective case, and whose in possessive case. Now rule number 21. Use of which. It is very confusing for some people, but when we remember the points, it becomes very easy to apply in our daily life. When is which used? It is used for infants, small animals, and objects. For example, this is the baby which was lost in the theater. We have used it for an infant. Alright. Another example can be, this is the dog which my friend bought from the US. Here as well, which is used to represent a small animal. Another case when which is used is when selection is expressed. Which of these television sets do you want to purchase? So when we have to select from a choice of goods, the question arises, which of these television? Alright. Another case when we make use of which is to refer to a sentence. For example, he was said to be drunk, which was not true. Okay, here we are referring to another sentence through which. Alright. So the uses of which are for infants, small animals and objects, for when selection is to be expressed. For example, which of these television sets do you want to purchase, and to refer to a sentence. Now let us discuss the uses of that. For person, it is used for persons, lifeless things, and small animals in the singular or in the plural number. For example, this is the girl that failed in the exam. Also, this is the radio that I bought yesterday. So that in these two examples, that is used for persons, lifeless things in singular form. Alright. Another case when that is used is as a substitute for a singular noun already mentioned. For example, the weather of Hyderabad is far better than Chennai. The weather of Hyderabad is far better than that of Chennai is the right answer. Why? Because it is used as a substitute for singular noun. Alright. Let us move on to the practice questions. This is the type of questions we might face in exam regarding pronouns. They won't be asking you directly what is pronoun, but you will have to identify the error, and for which these rules are very important. So in first question we have to identify the part which contains grammatically error, which contains grammatical error. Okay, and mark that error in from ABC options, and if the answer if there is no error in the sentence, then mark D option, that is no error. So the first question is, all those persons who wish to avail themselves of the offer can contact the branch manager. All those persons who wish to avail themselves of the offer can contact the branch manager. So where do you think there is a mistake? I will give you 10 seconds to analyze the question and go through the answers in order to predict the correct answer. All those persons who wish to avail themselves of the offer can contact the branch manager. Okay? Are you done with it? So I hope you are done with this question. The correct answer is A. All those persons who wish to, the we cannot use whose, we have to use who. Why? The pronoun who should be used instead of the pronoun whose in the sentence to show or indicate the person or people you mean to relate. Okay, It is not a thing, it is a living person, so we will use who. The correct sentence will be, all those persons who wish to avail themselves of the offer can contact the branch manager. Okay, I hope all of you have understood why we have used who instead of whose. Let us move on to the next question. It is a similar type of question. You have to recognize the error. Alright. Each policeman and each home guard was at their post. This is the sentence. Can you recognize which part of this sentence has an error? I am giving you 10 seconds in order to mark your answers. These questions are all based upon the rules that we discussed recently. Please revise them once more so that you know them by heart. They are not very difficult, they are very easy rules only. Just in order to elaborate, I have divided them into so many points. Alright. Each policeman and each home guard was at their post. Which part of this sentence contains the error? Okay, so I hope all of you have marked your answers. The correct answer is C. Why C? Because when two or more singular nouns joined by and are preceded by each and every, the pronoun must be singular. So instead of there, his should be used. Instead of there in this sentence over here, his should have been used. So the correct sentence will be, each policeman and each home guard was at his post. Alright, not at their post but at his post. Why? Because both of them, both the nouns are preceded by each. Yeah. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. No friend will come over to your party but I. No friend will come to your party but I. Okay, I hope all of you have marked the correct answer. So the correct answer is C. Why? Because let is followed by so me should have been used instead of I. The correct statement would be, no friend will come to your party but me. Okay. Question number 4. I wish you could hear you right now. I wish you could hear you right now. This is the sentence. Please identify where is the error. Please ignore the punctuation errors. So the four options are, I wish you could hear you right now. Last 10 seconds to mark your answers. Alright, so the answer to this question is option C. Why? Because with reflexive pronouns, when the subject of a clause is also the object of the clause verb, so we have to use reflexive pronouns over here. So I wish you could hear yourself right now. Okay, not you right now but yourself right now. We have to use reflexive pronouns. Alright. Next question. You, he and I will be punished. This is the sentence. Please identify the error. You, he and I will be punished. You have 10 more seconds. So the four options are you, he and I will be punished. Where do you think there is an error? So the error is in option A. Why? Because while confessing a fault or a negative idea, the sequence of the personal noun should be I, you, and he. That is first person, second person, and then third person at the last. So the correct sentence will be I, you, and he will be punished. Okay? So with this we come to the end of our today's lecture. I hope you have understood everything about pronouns. If you have any doubt at all, please mention it in the comments section or connect with me. Alright? We will meet in the next lecture and discuss the concept about conjunctions. Okay then, please take care, keep reading because it will help you improve your English. Alright? We will meet in the next lecture. Goodbye. Thank you.